Okay guys, just coming back at you with another video, and it's going to be a 1980s special today, just showcasing all of my action figures representing figures from the 1980s. So yeah, so I've got a real interest in that particular time period, like the music and the films, like I'm really into and all that. I kind of missed out originally because I'm a bit too young really. I was born in 1983, but you know, so I was around kind of for most of it, but obviously too young and all that. But you know, I really hark back to those days, and I like the music and the movies and whatnot. So yeah, obviously I've got an interest in action figures and all that. So yeah. Just show you the figures that I've got currently. So obviously it's my Back to the Future figures, my Michael J. Fox, some from the original. There's a Hot Toys figure, some Back to the Future Part 2, which I really like as well, just on the hoverboard and all that, which prophesised 2015 would have hoverboards. It's not quite been the case, but there's Doc Brown, again from Part 2, the Delorean from the original Part 1, Hot Toys Delorean. That's a really sought after car now, the Delorean from Hot Toys. Really well done. I think it's a little bit underscaled, personally, but yeah, it's really nice. Nevertheless, you know, the attention to detail and all that. Really nice representation of the Delorean from Part 1. And yeah, so Back to the Future, Part 1, 1985. Part 2, I think was released in 89. And just a little money there. And I think Part 3, which I'm not so much of a fan of, you know, it'd be the ultimate trilogy in my opinion, but I'm not so much a fan of Part 3, the Western one. It's a good film, but I don't put it as high as Part 1 and Part 2. I think Part 3 came out in 1990. The other two were 1985 and 89. So yeah, that's just my little Hill Valley sign that I made up. Just a little sign that I got painted. So yeah, really nice, and you know, quintessentially 80s, Back to the Future, you know, the fashion and whatnot. And yeah, fantastic film. Could watch it over and over again. So yeah, nice selection of figures. I don't think we'll get any more from Hot Toys Back to the Future figures. Really have liked a Doc from Part 1, you know, with the boiler suit, the white boiler suit and all that, and the plutonium case and whatnot. But I doubt whether we'll get that. Yeah, Hot Toys, yeah, it's a little bit of a bugbear of mine. It seem to have I've forgotten their roots a little bit, and they're just focusing on Star Wars figures. I haven't bought a Hot Toys figure in ages. By the way, so they're just not making stuff that I'm all that interested in, you know, all the Marvel and Star Wars figures. I've never really been into Star Wars, so yeah, so I've been saving quite a lot of money recently, which is a good thing, I guess. So yeah, just moving on here, obviously Indiana Jones figures. I think that's it's an old Sideshow figure maybe of Dr. Henry Jones, obviously Sean Connery in the Last Crusade. That was 89, I think, the Last Crusade. So yeah, it's not a great figure and all that. The head sculpt is not great and all that, but it's not too bad. And you know, it'll do for now. There's the Indy DX05 Hot Toys figure. You know, the sculpt's a little bit off, but you know, the stuff that came with was like really top notch and all that. And the Idol and all that, obviously, from Raiders. Probably one of the greatest action movies of all time. 81, I think, Raiders was released. So it's an old film, but you know, like a lot of these films stand the test of time. And there's my from Scratch Builders, who is on the Sideshow Freaks forum. They made this up. The Monocot from Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom, I think, is 84. And there's Sideshow's Indy, just clinging on, replicating the minecart scene from Temple of Doom. It is a real good pleasure of mine, Temple of Doom. I probably like it even more than The Last Crusade, if I'm being honest, just such a fun action film, you know, like totally over the top sort of thing, but you know, really nice and all that. So yeah, just behind there is saw a resurgence of Batman at the end of the 80s. Tim Burton came up with Batman. 1989, I think Batman was released with Michael Keaton. There's Hot Toys version. One of the DXs, I always forget, is it DX08 or 09, something like that. And then obviously the Joker, played by the excellent Jack Nicholson. Yeah, kind of like it totally rejuvenated the whole Batman thing. Obviously it had been you know, remembered for how it was in the 60s, like the camped up version, like Adam West and all that. That's got its own little charm and all that, but it definitely you know, needed, you know, a reboot and all that, and it certainly got that in 1989. So we also got the Batman Returns in I think 91, which is also a really good movie, but I'm just focusing on the 80s movies here. So here we have Arnold Schwarzenegger. First look at Arnie, who was probably arguably the biggest star of the 1980s, certainly action movie wise. Really came into his own then. You know, started with Conan obviously earlier in the decade, and by the end of the decade, yeah, he was probably the biggest movie star in the world. And that's just him as Dutch in Predator, one of the greatest action movies of all time. If you haven't seen any of these movies, guys, I highly recommend them. So they might look a bit dated to some people, but I think a lot of them still stand the test of time. There's Hot Toys Predator from the original movie, just with the skull and all that, and the backbone, really nice. Yeah. Again, I'd like Hot Toys to kind of like revisit some of these franchises. You know, the figures are great, nevertheless, but obviously they are quite old now. I think the Dutch figure is over 10 years old now, and same with the Predator. But yeah, really do like those figures. Just moving at the back there, we've got Jack Burton, played by Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China. Sideshow release there. Actually, yeah, he was a big star in the 80s, wasn't he? Kurt Russell, fantastic actor. And also got Sideshow's Snake Plissken, Escape from New York. Another iconic role, maybe his most iconic role, Kurt Russell. Yeah, another figure that I'd love to see is McCready from The Thing. Another fantastic film in the early 80s. John Carpenter directed. Just like Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, a McCready figure from The Thing. There was one. There was a prototype shown, I think, from PCS, Pop Culture Shock Company. It looked really good and all that, you know, the flamethrower and all that. But they never ended up producing it, so that was a bit of a shame. I'd definitely get a McCready figure from The Thing, just such an iconic film and all that. So yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so there's my two little Kurt Russell figures. As I say, Kurt Russell was probably a big star in the 80s as well, and he's probably maintained that status really. Still a really good actor and all that. Obviously a bit older now and all that, but yeah, still in some big budget movies. Okay, just make guys. So back here with the Rambo figures. They're all First Blood figures. Obviously there was 3 Rambo films during the 1980s. They all got a little bit more OTT as they went on and all that. There's a new Rambo out, obviously now with the geriatric Stallone. But yeah, I still think you can't beat First Blood really. Really fantastic film. And there's the Hot Toys figures. They're really old Hot Toys figures, these. They were, released probably about 2007, 2006, 7, something like that. So they really, I think that Troutman's the oldest Hot Toys figure that I've got. It's like MMS 6 or something like that. So yeah, really nice figures, and yeah, I really wish someone would come up with a new, figure from John Rambo from the first movie, First Blood. That's probably my favourite movie out of all of the Rambos. So just moving up here with the Robocop figures, obviously one of the most iconic action horror films of the 1980s. 87 I think was Robocop, and yeah, played by Peter Weller of course, and yeah, I wish I had a Bodecker figure. I've seen a few of custom Bodecker figures, and I've even seen a custom Emil as well, you know, after he's gets in the toxic waste and all that. Really nice figures, but yeah, they're like custom figures and all that, but yeah, I'd really like one of them to complement the Robocop figures. But yeah, there's Hot Toys, and you know, some of the best figures I think they've produced. Fantastic head sculpt. I think the only thing off with the Robocop was it slightly needed a bluer tint with the paintwork on there. I've seen some customizers repaint it, and it looks like really fantastic. But yeah, the head sculpts, you can't beat them and all that. And even the Alex Murphy, the cop one, that's one of the best head sculpts that Hot Toys have released. So yeah, another ultra violent film, the 1980s. Yeah, but really great acting in it, great set pieces, fantastic music as well. The score of Robocop is fantastic. If you can check that out, I highly recommend it. Really is a fantastic score. So yeah, just the back there, there's my custom John Mcclane, obviously from Die Hard, Bruce Willis's big breakthrough role. Fantastic movie, Die Hard. Had a few sequels obviously in the 90s and 2000s and all that, but I think nothing touches the original. I really like a Hans Gruber figure to complement that. As I say, it's just a custom and all that, just custom head sculpt, and it's just on the body and all that, and the clothing I've sought online and all that. That's Rick Deckard from Blade Runner, one of the great sci-fi movies of all time. 1982 I think that is, 88 I think for Die Hard. Yeah, so yeah, it's when Harrison Ford was becoming a big movie star of the time. He'd done Star Wars and all that, but then he'd done Blade Runner, and then he'd done Raiders and all that, and he was establishing himself as one of the biggest movie stars in the world. So now we've got Terminator figures, fantastic, probably one of my favourite films of all time, the original Terminator from 1984. Funny enough, Arnie didn't, so what I've heard is Arnie wasn't too interested in the role. He'd just done Conan and all that, which was quite a big budget movie at the time, and then he'd done the Terminator, and he didn't think much of it, he wouldn't do anything, and probably cemented his place as like the #1 movie star. Is probably the role that he's most associated with as the Terminator, despite all the other great movies he starred in and all that. So yeah, got a few selections of that. The Hot Toys, that's the 136 figure, released probably about 2011, something like that. Still fantastic figure though. Great head sculpt on it, and battle damaged guy. And there was the police shootout version from Hot Toys. And I just made the bike up as well, from a Tamiya bike, a Honda 750. So yeah, the bikini fairing on top there. So yeah, nice to go along with the figure. Then I customised the base to make it look like the police shootout flooring. Really nice. Just in the back there is John Matrix, again Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando, probably the most like over the top action movie in movie history. He takes on like a whole army sort of thing, one man army. And that was a Hot Toys figure that came kind of like out of the blue. I didn't think they'd made that, but yeah, so glad that they did. Really great head sculpt and all that, accessories, and he's also suited and booted for the old assault. So there's the endoskeleton from Terminator. Hot Toys. They haven't released a 1/6 endoskeleton in a long time. They released one for Genesis, but I guess that's not the same. But yeah, I was lucky enough to pick this one up. And this is Hot Toys figure number 33 or something like that, so it's a really old figure. I've actually repainted it with chrome paint and then dirtied it up. So it's not original, but you know, it still looks nice nevertheless. Got the Bison body down there from the scene where Arnold first comes back to 1984. And yeah, it's still holding up really well actually, that figure. The body and all that, I've heard some stories of those bodies, the rubber bodies, Bison bodies deteriorating pretty badly. Mine still looks perfect, you know, and I've had it about a couple of years now. Pretty much in that same pose, so quite a stressed out pose. Still looks fine, you know, there's no tears in it or anything like that, so you know, I've probably been quite lucky with that. There's my Reese figure, custom, online. I gave up all hope of Hot Toys releasing the Reese figure. They did actually, one of their first releases with Reese, but obviously the head sculpt was not all that, because it was a really early Hot Toys figure. Okay, so just come over here. Obviously Al Pacino, Scarface, another fantastic film. If you can get to watch that. Al Pacino is Tony Montana. In 1980's Miami, the drugs lord, until he pisses off Sousa, and then he sends a Colombian hit squad down there to take Tony and his little friend out. There's Michael Jackson. I'm in an R in whether to put him in. That's the Hot Toys figure from Thriller. But I thought, yeah, why not? He was probably the biggest movie star of the time in the 1980s. You know, the king of pop and all that, and you know, his star has, you know, dipped quite considerably since after his death. But it's good just to remember like how he was and all that. You know, back in the day and all that, and Thriller, I think it still holds the record for the biggest selling album of all time, doesn't it, Thriller? You know, great music video. And there's a Hot Toys figure, which is really nice. My Platoon figures. So yeah, from I think that was a 1987 Platoon. Was it Olive Stone directed? Yeah, I might be wrong about that. But yeah, we only got 2 figures from Platoon, which was a bit of a shame. Would have liked a few more and all that, but yeah, really well done figures. Really happy to have them in my collection. That's my latest little bash. It's Mel Gibson, obviously. There's Mad Max from Mad Max 2, Road Warrior. Customised base there. Yeah, custom figure. I've got the head from Guy on Sideshow. Okay, there's my Lethal Weapon figure. Riggs. Yeah, Mel Gibson again. I think that was 87. Just again. So yeah, this is my yeah, from I think that's Lethal Weapon Part 2 with the clothing and all that. The sports jacket. I think he wore that in Lethal Weapon 2. There's my latest little figure from Cool Stick Plastic, where the head sculpts and most of the accessories are. Conan, Barbarian, from 82, base there. Quite a nice looking figure. The new head sculpt that they've got going there, I think it's Indigo that sculpted it. If you look him up on his Instagram or something, Indigo, the sculptor, really great sculptor. And there's the Ben Richards figure of Arnie, custom figure, base and all that, from Running Man. Great, another great movie from the 1980s. Arnie again. And that was just like an afterthought. Putting Christopher Reeve Superman, that's actually Evil Superman. The original Superman wouldn't have counted because I think Superman came out in 78, and so this is like 80s exclusive. But I think that's Evil Superman, and I think that's from Superman 3. and that was released in 1983, I think. So yeah, most of the Superman movies, Chris Reeve Superman movies, were released in the 80s, but the original was 78, I think. So yeah, really nice figure, as I say, of evil Superman, and the base and all that, just representing the scrapyard. So yeah, that just about covers it, guys. Look at the figures. We'll just do a sweep around here. So yeah, I have got probably makes up the bulk of my collection, the 80s figures. So I'm really into it and all that, and that's why I haven't got any Hot Toys figures in so long. Look at the back here. So yeah, fantastic little collection I've got here, and really I'm happy to have them. So thanks for viewing that, guys. Hope you really enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next video.